TaylorMade Stealth Plus
and the Callaway Rogue ST Pro.
Welcome to the Showdown, two very popular hybrids.
Head to head over 5 categories: aesthetics, sound and feel, distance, dispersion and technology. Let's go. Okay, Dan, looks wise with the Rogue Pro. For me, it just looks like a normal sized hybrid, whereas I would expect the Pro to be a little bit smaller in its profile. I love the fact you get the chevron to line it up with. Always love that on Callaway clubs. And you get the white lines inside the face. So that helps me frame the ball better. So it gives me a reference point for the center of that ball. So looks wise, I think the Callaway looks super. Whereas the Stealth is now squished in. This is proper squished in at the top. And this looks more like an iron. So when you're looking down at it, this toe feels like it's higher than the heel. And because of that, it has that line where TaylorMade have it, where it goes from gloss into the sort of like matte carbon look. So it looks good, it just looks a little bit too small for me. So for me, if I'm picking a winner on looks, it has to be the Callaway Rogue. I want a hybrid to look like a hybrid, not like an iron.
And I fully understand what you're saying there, Lee. And when it comes to hybrids, what you got to think about is whether you're coming into hybrids through your wood, so you want the wood to kind of blend into your irons, or you want your irons to start to work toward your woods. And what you've got here is you've got the perfect example of that. You've got Callaway producing a hybrid that is coming down from maybe their woods family, whereas TaylorMade is working from the player that wants to see the irons in their longer stuff. And I've seen this when it comes to Callaway in their past. When they've made hybrids, they get quite bulbous at the toe end here, kind of almost trying to make that face look a little bit like an iron. But I struggle to get a visual for that. I kind of like, make a decision. You're either going to be a long iron or you're going to be a hybrid. But I do understand why they make it like that. I just don't see an iron when I look down at this club. I still see a bit of a hybrid. I also see that the back edge is squished right against the face. Again, the idea of this is to try and push that center of gravity further forward, trying to get that low launch, low spin type of idea with this club, which is what you kind of going to get with a long iron. Whereas when you look at the Callaway, very much like Lee has said, this is a hybrid at the end of the day. It's coming more from the woods down to your long irons. Like Lee said, love this kind of chevron at the front there, enables me to be able to line that ball up. But looks-wise, I much prefer this. It's a cleaner kind of look. There's a lot less kind of going on other than the chevron on top. So definitely from a looks point of view, I would be picking the Callaway over the TaylorMade.
So let's talk tech on the Callaway Rogue ST Pro Hybrid. It has a new AI-designed jailbreak system to promote speed and stability. This is now in the toe and the heel section, so it's designed to give a little bit more stability from more toe and heel strikes and a bit more flexibility from the center of the face. The AI face has a 455 face cup, optimized to include speed, launch and spin, and it has a 24-gram precision tungsten weight precisely located to enhance the center of gravity of this golf club. TaylorMade Stealth Plus Hybrid. V-steel sole design, refined weight distribution for forgiveness, C300 steel twist face for that explosive ball speed, and a through slot speed pocket to maximize ball speeds and produce forgiveness on low face strikes. And unlike the Callaway, this has an adjustable loft sleeve. Okay, Dan, 1 point each. In fact, 1 point each for the Callaway so far.
Is that right?
Yep, okay. So we've both picked it on looks.
Yep.
Now it's feel and sound. Which one are you giving it to?
This is really hard. I gotta say, I do like the feel of the Callaway based on the fact that it's like a hybrid. It feels as good as any hybrid can feel for me. However, this is there's confusion here with, is it a hybrid, is it a long iron, what actually is it? It really is a hybrid, isn't it?
Yeah.
This feels more like a long iron to me.
Yeah, definitely.
It feels more solid, robust. less twisty off the face than what I'm getting out of maybe the hybrid.
It does have twist face, Dan.
It does have twist face, but it does feel more compact, shall we say, in that. So for me, going to go with the TaylorMade.
Okay. Me, I'm going Callaway.
Yes.
For pretty much the similar reasons why I picked the Ping in the last episode. It's got a good sound off the face.
Yeah.
It gives me instant feedback when I've hit the middle. I wouldn't really transition into that. It doesn't sound right. It would be long iron or hybrid. And I've gone into hybrids for a reason. I want them to sound like hybrids. I want them to feel like hybrids. And that's what that does for me.
Fair enough.
For me,
fully understand why.
Callaway gets the point.
I'm going to look at my numbers firstly. Stealth numbers then. Let's start with the ball speed off the club face. 133 mile an hour. If you compare that to the Rogue, 133 but 0.9. So there's only like 0.5 between them, which is quite interesting. If we look at the launch of them, we've got 12.8 launch out of the Stealth compared to 13.5 degrees of launch out of the Rogue. So just getting it a little bit hotter off the face, get quicker off the face going up with the Rogue over the Stealth for this test. Spin though, 4,300 revs on an average with the Rogue. If we compare that to the Stealth, 3,200 revs. So like 1,000 revs difference between these two clubs, which is amazing really. If you're looking at peak heights, 27 yards high with the Stealth compared to 31 yards high with what we're getting out of the Rogue. Again, all what you would expect considering how the launch is up, the spin is up, and then 202 yards carry in the Rogue compared to 210 yards carry out of the Stealth. If we look at the dispersion, they've both got a bad shot in them. Whenever I hit a hybrid, I've always got a bad shot in me, and this is no different with these two clubs. We've got 2.4 average right yards with the Stealth and 2.9 average right with the Rogue. Worst to worst, 20 yards right with the Rogue compared to 17 yards right with the Stealth. So they're both pretty bad when I get it wrong, but on an average, there's not a lot between them.
Okay, Dan, my numbers then, and I think this shows why I don't play things like the Stealth Plus. So Stealth Plus first, average ball speed 128.8, but that's because it jumps from 143 to 120. Not a club I would use. So that puts the distance at 203, but that jumps from 207 to 191. But for me, the dispersion on this is 40 yards to the left, it's 27 yards to the right. So it's nearly 70-yard dispersion left to right. Not a golf club I would particularly use. But then we go to the Rogue. Again, it's probably not a golf club I would particularly use because it's not forgiving enough. Ball speed 136, but a lot more closer together at 133 to 139. Spins at 3.3. The spin on both is pretty where I'd want it to be for a 3 hybrid. But the distance is 214, so it's definitely a lot better for me than it is than the Stealth is, and a lot closer in dispersion, front to back anyway. But then again, 35 yards left to 20 yards right, that's a 55-yard dispersion left to right, as opposed to a 70-yard dispersion left to right. So Rogue wins for the distance for me, and Rogue has to win on dispersion for me, although to be honest, I would play neither of them. Right, Dan, you've looked at your numbers.
Yeah.
So which feels the best now, and which one went the furthest?
Well, I think we have to go on the fact that the Stealth has gone the furthest.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely think that if I got the spin right with this club, okay, so if the Rogue was spinning just that little bit lower...
Oh, it's clearing it by a long way.
It would carry out what the Stealth is doing. So
ball speed, exactly the same.
The ball speeds are the same.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, is the ball speeds are the same, but because of the spin, it's just killing it a little bit, whereas the Stealth is just pushing out there that little bit more. So, I mean, the Stealth wins it surely because of the fact that it's going further.
Wins on distance.
Wins on distance.
Wins on dispersion.
Only just, though,
just.
to be fair.
So now, which looks and feels, which feels and sounds the best?
Stealth.
Still Stealth.
Still
right.
Stealth.
Let's see a final tally up.
Do you want to bring your notepad in, Lee?
Oh, go on in.
Bring your notepad in because I think it's important that
Other brand notepads are available.
Yeah, see that. Tell us the numbers then. Where are we at right now?
Right, so we have to decide which one wins on technology. And unlike last week, I think this is a lot closer because you've got Jailbreak, you've got Face Cop, AI designs, you've got Twist Face, V-Steel, Loft Sleeve. Which one wins it on technology for you?
Well, you can't argue with both of them from a technology point of view.
Absolutely not.
You know, both companies, whether it's a marketing type of thing or whatever it is, both companies put a lot of R&D into these clubs, okay? If you went point for point, they'd probably just match up against each other all the way through.
Yeah.
But like last week, the trumper has to be the fact that you can adjust the head of the Stealth. I mean, in this modern era, who's gluing clubs in nowadays? It's a rare thing, isn't it? And I don't know why. I mean, there's clearly a weight saving type of thing there with having, you know, less screws and things like that in your clubs, but using glue and setting it. I mean, like we said in the previous one, but this one as well, you know, once you've got your yardage, once you've got your club and you're fitted, there it is for you. However, if you make some changes to your golf bag, low end, top end, if you make some changes to your golf swing, you're not getting the adjustability.
Your head gets damaged, you want to keep the shaft.
Whatever it is,
You
yeah.
know, it's
all,
easy
all of those.
change over that.
Whereas this one, you make a change to your bag, you make a change to your swing, you can change the club.
Yeah.
So for me, technology-wise, has to be the Stealth.
Yeah.
Has to be.
And for me, I have to agree. If it, like you said, if it was point for point and this was the Stealth hybrid,
Yeah.
I think it would be half a point each. Like, how do you separate them? But you're in the pro level of hybrid now. This is the pro. That Stealth Plus is the pro. Having no adjustability on this one is a bit of a letdown for me. So Stealth has to win on technology.
Agree.
That gives, for you, Dan, 4-1 to the Stealth.
Wow.
So the Callaway wins on looks, but feel and sound, distance, dispersion and technology, the Stealth wins. For me, it's 4-1 for the Callaway.
Again.
So it's
Back-to-back weeks that we've split.
yeah, and I think this is a bit of a look on how we look at hybrids. Like, you're not a great fan of hybrids, so you like the fact it looks like an iron, whereas I want a hybrid to be a hybrid. So it's Callaway looks, feel and sound, distance, dispersion, but technology wins a Stealth. So 5 each.
That's not bad.
That's 5
And
each.
I actually think that's fair.
Yeah,
I really do.
they're both as good as each other. It's just
100%.
for us, we rate them differently, but the same.
Well, I hope you like what you see from our...
Saturday show still.
Well, I hope you like what you see from our Saturday
Every
Showdown.
week.
Every week it is a Saturday Showdown.
Still Saturday.
If you're using either of these clubs, we'd like to know. We'd like to know down in the comments, do you think that the numbers that we've given them are fair? We'd like to hear that as well. And if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and we'll see you all again on the next one.
What day?
Saturday.
Sure?
Definitely a showdown.
See you on Saturday.